Coming up in this video, wait for it, Plum Spiced Rum. Stay tuned. Hey Spiced Rum fans, I am Steve the Barman and I'm hoping these videos are helping you to drink, serve and enjoy your favourite spiced rums that little bit more. If you like what I'm doing in these videos, please give me a big old thumbs up, give me a like, tell me that you love it. And if you don't want to miss any of my future videos, make sure you hit that subscribe button. I want to hear from you as well. Plum. Do you fancy a bit of plum? Let me know in the comments below. Plum spiced rum? That's a bit different, a bit weird, a bit wacky. I kind of like the plums, so are you excited about plum? Comments, let me know. And if you want to chat to other spiced rum fans, if you find me a bit dull and boring and you want to make different friends, come and join us in the Spiced Rum Club over on Facebook. Right then, let's crack on with this plum spiced rum. Now before we go any further, I have to say big shout out to Ian. Thank you very much, Ian, and to your wife. I've completely forgotten her name. It was her that put us in touch. Ian very kindly sent me this bottle down for me to do on this channel, so it's not kind of a paid one, but it's kind of okay, you know, I never say rum is horrible. I don't go down that route. I'm more about telling you what it actually tastes like. It's up to you to make your own mind up. I'm not here to influence it in any way. But yeah, so let me tell you a little bit about these guys. Blue Monkey. So Blue Monkey, they are a brewery up in Nottingham. So they make beer, primarily make beer. But they had huge success with some spirits that they did, which kind of got the whole rum bug going. They basically went, and the way I describe it, because a lot of you will kind of know this, they went down the Adnams route. So Adnams are kind of famous for distilling their malts, their base sort of beer mash, whatever. I don't do beer, so whatever you want to call it, but Adams distilled that to make their sort of spirits, and these guys have done the same. Now, and that's not for their rums. I'm talking about how they got started. So they started obviously making neutral spirits. They have obviously got into flavoured vodka and gin and all that kind of stuff. Now in their range, they've got I think it was 9 different flavours of gin, but they started 2019 with a rum. They import the rums, obviously, but then they did a spiced rum. They spiced up a rum, then they did a banana rum, and then they did this plum spiced rum, and this is the one apparently that they have the big success with. Now this was released in September 2019. The base rum from this is from Trinidad, so it is just that single origin rum. They ship it over to the UK and then they go about spicing it. Now I don't know how many spices go into this. They've given me 5, Ian's given me 5. So I've got vanilla, honey, cinnamon, cloves and pepper, plus a few others. That's what goes into spicing up the rum, and then we've obviously got the plum that's added to it afterwards. Now just to kind of finish up the little backstory behind this, it's a 37.5% rum. If you want to get hold of a bottle for yourself, it's gonna be a little bit tricky at the moment. It is out in local garden centres and farm shops and that kind of stuff. They haven't even got it on their website online yet, but I'm sure if you got hold of them and gave them a little tinkle, gave them a little Facebook message, I'm sure you'd be able to get a bottle off, and I'm sure you'd be able to. So that's about it. Not much else going on the bottle there. Spiced Caribbean rum bursting with delicious plum flavours. And then on the back, delightful spiced rum distilled from sugarcane, sourced from the Caribbean. Best served over ice, perfect with Coke for a long, refreshing drink. Interesting. And one just very final thing to mention on there. Sorry, I told you where you could get it from. I didn't say how much. It's quite expensive, but we understand that as a little small, you know, a small distillery, a small rum producer. It's about £35. That is very, very expensive. We know that, but these little guys, they have to charge a lot to keep them going. Okay, so in relative terms, you know, if they had the the sources, if they had the ability to get it out and about there, you would see the price drop quite a lot, I would imagine. But at the moment, sort of farm shops, you're looking about 35 quid. Right then, time to taste it. So let's just, oh, it's perforated. Let's just pull the lid off and let's have a little smell. Right. What does this smell like? This smells good. This smells, do you know what? The plum is kind of right in there, but there's a lot more to it than that. This smells, it smells a little bit sweetish, but only in the flavours that it's given off. That just smells a little bit, I want to say chocolate coming off there as well. Kind of get a bit of vanilla. I'm getting no spice off the nose. It's kind of like a chocolatey plum, vanilla. That really reminds me of something, and I can't think what it is. Ignore the whole plum pudding thing. There's something else going on, something sort of chocolatey that really reminds me of. I can't think, but that just smells, I can't wait. That just smells delicious. I'm gonna get stuck into this. Right then, what does it taste like? Well, and I don't mean this in a bad way, I'll explain, but completely different to what I was expecting. Completely and utterly different. So, sweetness scale, let's do that first. Some of you are going to hate this. I'm actually going to give this a 4. It is actually kind of a very sweet, I wouldn't say thickish, but it's a very kind of sweet liquid in there. Now I'm going to do something I don't normally do with tasting these neat rums. After I finished it, I'm actually going to add quite a bit more ice, because the more that ice melts, it's been in there a few minutes now, the more that's kind of mellowing and changing the flavours out with that. For me, I'll go straight up in the first there. I think it's a bit too, whoa, what's going on there for being a neat sipping rum. You definitely get the plum coming out there. You get a huge amount of sort of different sort of spices bouncing about off there, kind of the pepper. I'm talking that sort of spice. Ignore the sort of vanilla. There's a little bit of vanilla in there, but I'm talking the sort of peppery it's kind of spice that bounces off the alcohol. The plum is there, but it's not as big and punchy as what it is on the nose. And it's kind of, it's subtle in the background. It is a plum, out and out plum spiced rum, without a shadow of a doubt, but it's not as pungent on the taste as what it is on the nose. I wouldn't say I get too much in the way of cloves on there as well. I think the plum masks the vanilla a little bit. You can tell there's vanilla in there because that's what's kind of bringing that sweetness through in there. It's hard to say whether it's smooth, and this is really weird. It is kind of smooth, but because of that sharp sort of tart plum in there, that kind of, how can I describe? It's like if you're drinking red wine, those sort of tannin sort of notes. That's kind of what you get from that. But for me, let's go. I want to see what it's like a lot more diluted down than that, because one ice cube in there, I think that's still a bit too much to handle as a neat sipping rum. But I've got a funny feeling this is going to be amazing when mixed as a longer drink. I think that's how it's going to go. Right, now I've been off. I've done, as you can see, I've done a little tasting. I've got a couple of cracking highballs coming up for you there. But I just wanted to come back to what I said with this. I've diluted this down a hell of a lot more. There's a lot of ice coming through there now. So that water, that dilution, the chill factor on there, that's how you're going to drink it neat. You need that water just to kind of dilute it down a little bit. And that makes it a really nice drink to drink neat. But without that amount of dilution, I'm guessing there's probably double the amount of water in there. So we're going one part rum to 2 parts water in there at the moment with the chill. And that is so much that just takes that sort of tart sweetness away from it. But yeah, really interesting, that one. Really different. I've never had anything like that before. Right then, highball time. Let's crack on with it. The first one, the bottle says perfect with Coke. Now, here's the test for you. If you're one of these people that like what Coke are doing with their flavours, they've got the strawberry, raspberry Cokes, I forget what else, mango and peach. If you like that sort of thing, I think you're gonna like just plain Coke, okay? However, if you're not a fan of that whole I forget what it is now, if they've done a strawberry Coke, or I forget which one's diet and which one's zero and whatever they've done. But I'm not a huge fan of them. One I do really like is the vanilla. And that might, I haven't got any, that might have been really good with that. For me, not a huge rum and Coke fan with that. That's just me. But as I say, if you like those new quirky Coke flavours that they do, I think you're going to be a big fan of this. Now here we are. This is where it does come into its own. So first up, ginger ale. Close to being, wow, that's really cool. Close. Really love that. Again, spiced orange ginger ale. They're really nice, but didn't quite pip top spot for me. And top spot, where is it? Oh, I've lost it. There it is. And to be fair, this is what Ian said to me as well. This comes out amazing. So rum, plum spiced rum, the whole ginger beer thing. I think, right, and I know you guys that watch me regularly, you're going to know that I don't really like Fever Tree's ginger beer. I think that is going to be too much for you, most of you anyway. For me, this is my go-to ginger beer. How I position this one, not as sweet as Old Jamaica, has got the fire, but not as dry and as the Fever Tree ginger beer. So this Franklin's the Sun sits nicely in between. This is what I've just topped myself up. I was looking for the full bottle because I've got an empty bottle, but just chucked down there. But that's just what I've topped myself up with. I really like that plum spiced rum and ginger beer. That is amazing. And just one last one, just to give a shout out to, very quickly, I don't think it worked. It was kind of pointless with the fruity stuff like that. But one quick one, and I did mention this last week in the last Spiced Rum video, and I just thought this was, I knew instantly it was going to work. When I tried it the first time, I was just like, that's going to work with that. Appetizer. Apple, plum and apple. I see ya. I'm going to try this. And the coconut didn't. Don't try that with coconut. No. Don't do that. But I'm going to start rocking these out a little bit more now, because that's really interesting. The whole apple ties. I used to love apple ties. I love my pressed apple juice as well. Again, I've got the apple and ginger. That was kind of really nice as well. But to be fair, that was actually probably sort of second or third for that. But I just kind of like the fizzy aspect that went with this as opposed to the juice aspect. So that was a really good combination. That is my favourite. So Ian and gang up at Blue Monkey, I wish you huge luck in the future. I can't wait to see what a few of you guys think about this, whether it's a touch too far for you or whether you're like, wow, that's as I say, I'm not overly convinced that it's neat. You know, I'm not putting it down at all, but no, compared to what that finished drink is as a rum and ginger beer compared to drinking it neat, they're just worlds apart. So that's that. I've even lost the lid. It's probably over there somewhere. But yeah, thank you, Ian. Thank you, guys. Good luck in the future. That's really rum and I love plum rum and ginger beer. Cheers.